Guys, what's up? It is Taylor Welch and Chris Evans, and we're going to get to the show in just a second. But you might not know, for the month of November, we're celebrating our brand new YouTube show by giving away a new iPhone X. Brand new, never before open, 256 gigabyte iPhone X. Now, anybody can win, but there are 3 special steps required for you to enter into this giveaway. Chris, tell us what to do.
Boom! Yes! All right, here's what you do. Go to www.trafficandfunnels.com/iPhone X. Step number 1, hit the subscribe button. It's all the love there. Then go to the episode and comment how bad the episode is, how much you love it, and then share it. Listen, the more shares you give, the more entries you get. That's what it's all about. And then your chances of winning the iPhone X are going to be phenomenally great.
Let me just say one thing in case you were laughing while Chris was walking you through the steps. Step 1, trafficandfunnels.com/iPhone X. Step 2, subscribe. Step 3, comment and share. That was phenomenal, Chris. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks. Enjoy the episode, guys.
You're listening to the smartest guys in marketing, the best show on the planet for client businesses to learn about traffic, funnels, sales, conversions, and marketing coolness. Chris and Taylor are the founders of Traffic and Funnels, a digital marketing consultancy helping you get paid clients from cold traffic daily. Now, here are your hosts, Chris and Taylor.
How's it going, family? Chris Evans here and Taylor Welch. And we are the smartest guys in marketing coming at you today on this beautiful fall day.
Follow us on Instagram. If you're not following us on Instagram, I am mad.
I'm so mad. I'm at Chris A. Evans on Instagram. You're at Taylor A. Welch.
Yep, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah. Follow us up. What are we talking about today? This is going to be a goodie.
So we're talking about equity versus sales. And, before you slip into traditional thinking, we don't mean like equity in businesses, although that's pretty cool. We mean equity in people. We've made a major shift over the last 3 months. Me and Chris, my faithful business partner in crime. And that shift has already been responsible in more revenue, but it's basically switching around the priorities in our business and talking about, if you work with clients, this is going to be mega for you because this is going to give you longevity in your market. In your market. It's playing the long game and really knowing how to isolate the steps you need to take down into the tactical level, so to speak.
Yeah. So I'm just going to ask you a question. How is our process different now than when we first started, would you say, in regards to this?
Yeah, so I'll give you the philosophical answer, and then I'll give you like the tactical strategic answer. When any business starts, the goal is like cash. I remember when we started Traffic and Funnels, the goal was like we have to generate cash. We have to generate enough cash to really fund the growth of the business. And you kind of stay in that place for a good little bit. At least the first year, it depends on what kind of business you're in. But for a client business, the first year and a half, the focus is really on figuring out how to generate cash on demand whenever you need it, and then gaining a measure of control over that cash so you can reinvest it back in your business. And so a lot of our focus at the beginning was, okay, how do I acquire as much cash per person as possible?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we slayed it. We killed that game. Like we, definitively beat out pretty much any record that had ever been held in terms of revenue per subscriber that came into our list. At one point, we were like over $180 cash within 30 days of every subscriber we put on the list. That's insane. Crazy. That's insane. But when you shift to long-term, and this is where we have been in the last 90 days, it's like the goal is moving away from just let's generate as much cash per person to the goal is just the person.
Yeah.
Let's build as much equity and trust and really relationship with the people that look up to us and follow us. And then cash becomes more of a byproduct. So it moves from the focal point kind of to the rear seat. That makes sense. And really equity with the client is number one. So we're generating sales to create a relationship we're not creating a relationship to generate sales. Does that make sense?
That's good.
Just dropping the bombs right now. And that's
So
why
we actually have to care for people, care about people.
You just have to pretend to care about people. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. That's all. You got to totally care about the person.
Gotcha. So how is this different than what everybody else is doing?
Well, real quick before we move on to that, like I think that what's amazing is being able to hone your thinking into a series of causes and effects. And that's everything in life. There's a cause and then there's an effect, right? And then the effect of one cause becomes the cause of another effect. And it's a cycle. It's cyclical over and over. So there's a cause and effect, and that effect is the cause of another effect, which is the cause of another effect. And you have this loop that happens. And the health and longevity of your business is really where you prioritize on the cause and the effect. And I know this is a little deep, but let me explain what I mean. The cause for us is being meaningful to the customer, to the client, to the prospect, to the person following us. The effect is revenue. And really keeping our focus on being meaningful and being relevant and standing out. And so how this has changed us tactically is, we used to email our list all the time and be like, hey, fill out an application. Like, let's be like us, be nice to us, get on the phone with us. And now we're really focusing on, hey, how do we spend more time offering really good insights into these podcasts? How do we make sure our emails really offer good insights? And then if people want to subscribe, we'll make sure that they have a link to do that. Or if they want to get on the phone with us, we'll make sure they have the link to get on that. But there's less emphasis around the action that they take and more emphasis on how do I bring depth to the relationship with this person.
Yeah, maybe seeking to understand them and their problems and what they need to get them further along before there's actually any exchange in currency.
Yeah.
And money.
Yeah, you say this quite often on the in the inner circle, like with clients and stuff. But you talk about digging wells.
That's how we say it in the South.
Digging wells versus praying for rain. And this is really, I think, embodies that principle. We met with Jay a couple weeks ago out in Redondo Beach, and he really talked about, the best system is being able to grow your own customers and clients. Not necessarily having to go out and find them, which that's direct response marketing, but being able to grow your customers, which is like business. So it's that age-old thing like marketing versus business, which you talked about on a previous episode. And what we're focused on now is really how do we ask the questions that people are asking before they're ready to buy from us? And then providing that information to them so that we have equity and they grow under our tutelage. They grow under our counsel. They grow as a part of the podcast, as a part of the list and YouTube and et cetera. And then when they become worthy and they hit that caliber where it's like, okay, it makes sense for them to become a client. There's that relationship there and we don't have to convince them. We don't have to twist their arm. It's the logical next step. And that's a big difference from the traditional, let's run as much advertising to a sales page as possible and just collect cash.
Yeah.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. We're aggressive marketers as well, but we're just kind of widening the scope.
Yeah, it's like being in a position of walking in the wilderness and hoping that you come onto a field that has wheat, as opposed to acquiring land that the soil is fertile, that you can plant and cultivate and then harvest.
Yes.
So how does someone who's been focused on sales versus building equity, how do they make that transition? Because it's not really comfortable. It's more work, right?
Yeah. Yeah, tactically, this is something that I've been doing, and I'm sure you have your own things to add to this, Chris. But there's like, and this goes back to like Eugene Schwartz and sophistication levels and all that stuff to an extent. But like we've recognized that there's a whole section of the market, probably like 80%, and they're not ready to necessarily become high-end clients. They're not at the place where that's the best thing for them, and we wouldn't even try to get them to do it even if we could, because it's not the right thing for them. And then there's a small sliver of people who are ready, but we haven't done a good enough job convincing them that we're the best fit. And then there's a small sliver who is ready, but we did do a good job and they're going to become clients. And then there's this, 15, 20% after where they go on and buy something else. So I think on a practical level is really sitting down, opening up a Google Doc, grabbing a notebook or whatever, or a fountain pen, and getting into a place where you can think and ask the question, what are people interested in knowing before becoming a client of mine? What questions are they asking? For us, like for the person who's just getting started, they don't have a client business, but they want to have a client business. They're someone that we wouldn't really probably take on as a client right now, but what questions are they asking that we can provide the answers to and give them solutions to? And then we put that content out into the market and we generate equity in that person. And then once they apply that and get results and they're at the place where they do want to scale, who are they going to look back to help them scale?
Yeah. You.
Obviously us, because we are the ones that provide them a solution. And so every market is like this. There's a percentage of people who aren't ready for you, but they're asking questions. Identify those questions and then answer them. And then you generate that equity and then the sale comes later.
Yeah. So it's being willing to invest and not get an immediate return.
Yeah.
It might be 6 months. It might be a year down the road.
It's delayed gratification. It's the smoker, not the gas grill. Ooh. It's the oven, not the microwave.
Yeah.
On a roll.
You're killing it. And the thing that you have to understand is like you are going to reap the reward of other people who have invested into those people. You know what I mean? Maybe someone who wrote an amazing article or blog post on how to acquire clients, and someone took that and they implemented some of that and they got a step further and maybe they're ready for your expertise. You are going to have that top 10% who are ready to go right now. And if you are kind of in that beginning stage, that's kind of who you focus on initially to validate your process.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm amazed. This is the last thing I have to say. And then whatever you want to do. I'm amazed that the questions that someone asks themselves on a daily, consistent basis throttles their output. When we first got started, Chris, you remember this. I know you remember this because we just talked about it all the time. The question that was always going through our head, always, how can I generate 100 apps this month?
Yep.
That was the question. We had talked about it all the time. I wrote it down in my journal every night. I was always thinking, how can I generate 100 apps this month? And then that question changed to, how can I generate $300,000 this month? How can I generate $500,000 this month? And now the question is, how can we create equity in the minds of our market? And when you can ask this question consistently, your mind will adapt to provide that solution for you. I think this is really powerful. It's one of the most powerful principles that we have to teach is your ability to ask the same question over and over and over again and come up with better and better solutions. That's the key to growth.
That's good. I would re-listen to this podcast a few times. This double shot is changing. There's something in there. There's the cocaine in there.
I think that would probably do the opposite of what I'm talking about. But
yeah, this is good. All right. So, hey, if you guys are digging this, go subscribe on iTunes. Leave us a review. If you're not in the Smartest Guys in Marketing group on Facebook, jump in there. Go to YouTube, Smartest Guys in Marketing. Subscribe there. And listen, our goal and our intention, especially going into next year, is to provide the utmost quality in information and content to help you and actually practice what we are preaching. So stick around. Be patient with us because, listen, we make mistakes. We don't always do it right, but it is our goal and our intention to help elevate your quality of life and business through what we're doing, whether you're a client or not.
Boom, bro.
All right. You guys rock. Nothing but love. See ya.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.